Yep. Well, hey, you wanted to come on tonight. I know that we saw your video drop. You had a new video that came out, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I wonder what this video is going to be about because it, could have went all kinds of different directions. And I opened up and watched it, and I was like, and then you moved it to private and stuff. So why don't we start with
Yeah.
telling people, because some people listening in either tonight live to us, thank you for being here, or later on in the replay, we appreciate you also, may be scratching their head. Now we've got the link to the video in question and the link to all Merrill's social media, Metal Detecting NYC, right down below in the description, and Tony will be throwing it in the chat throughout tonight also. So if you're listening later, just look at the description, click on those links, you can go find him and find the video we're going to be talking about. But you can also look down through the chat and find the link as well. Tell us about this video, Merrill, and kind of what prompted you to do the video.
It started about a year ago, and I said to myself, I want to be a better person. So I stopped jaywalking. It's always been a problem over the course of my life. And, I stopped jaywalking. And you need some excitement in your life. So I'm like, okay, let's go with this investigative reporting metal detecting thing. So I transitioned from the dangerous life of jaywalking to, the investigative metal detecting reporting. And,
Brave man.
I really appreciate the companies that I do investigative reporting on, if I could call it that. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's an investigative reporting with a heck of a lot of help. I'm the first to disclose I'm not a master at the technical side of metal detecting. I'm getting all sorts of interesting emails from people. I try to read as many as I can, and that's, different times of the year. I have more time than others, but there have been a few that have really, really piqued my interest. And there was one that came in with various power levels. And from somebody who has left highly intelligent comments on my videos named Dan Blankenship.
Right.
And basically, he's got a background and he worked at Microsoft, and he's been detecting since 1976. To me, those are fantastic credentials.
Right.
And he's also, just like me, and just like us, just OCD about this stuff. And he was trying to get as much information on the power that goes into the ground from metal detectors. And there's only so much public information on that. And really, it's the manuals that are out there. He went as far as to reach out to some of the companies that were out there. And long story short, he also did the research on the FCC and limits that, power, and that is vague. You're reading stuff that like feline lawyers like made up. They like hired their cats to just like dance on the keyboard and write this crazy lawyer stuff that means absolutely nothing, but sets the guidelines, on the limits of what can be, out there. And I get that. Like, for instance, interference between different products that are out there and radiation. Those are things that have to be regulated. And there was a great comment that I saw. The reason the FCC does this is so that your metal detector doesn't open up your garage door.
Right.
Yeah. And that encapsulates everything. So
yeah, I had a good comment too. I had a good comment on the post tonight on my Facebook group advertising your appearance. There was a good comment from DF Digger up in Maine, and he's worked in electronics, and he used to have to go around and test for basically radiation leakage from cables. When they started laying underground cable and fiber optic in mass quantities, when cable came out, it had a lot of leaks to it, and it was generating at such a high level. These leaks would generate so much that it actually is a documented case that actually caused a plane to crash, because there were so many laid over each other and crisscrossing and all this stuff near this small airport, I guess, that it was able to interfere with readings and instruments and stuff. So he told me he that's part of the reason why the FCC started clamping down and putting restrictions out there. and this is what he said. And then everything that comes out that generates radiation or some kind of radiative electromagnetic field has got to be regulated, and it all probably stemmed from that. Maybe it was around before, I don't know, but this that's what DF Digger told me, and it made sense to me. And I thought, that's interesting from somebody that, I mean, that's what he used to do. He used to go around and measure it, and they'd have to get every year. He said they'd have to get a plane with a new ability to have more power to be able to map the ground to identify these leaks. So their detection equipment had to get more and more powerful to be able to, from the sky, track these hot spots of leaks. And then DF Digger's team would go in there and they would try to repair it and fix it and cap it and fix the leaks and stuff. So pretty
That's incredible. He does leak detecting and metal detecting. That's incredible.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if they need a helicopter for a pinpointer for that. That's pretty incredible.
That is incredible.
So I guess for the last week, I've been doing that like delicate dance of being responsible because, let's put it this way, Minelab, I feel like an art critic, and Minelab is the Picasso of the age. And also, there's challenging them because, yes, marketing exists. There's no question about it. And there's truth and there's marketing. And, there's some pretty bold claims that are out there with the Manticore. More power, more depth, more fines.
Yep.
Those are that's pretty
right off the website.
Right off the website. That's everywhere. And I've also been using this detector, and I can't say that it's disappointed, but it feels just like an Equinox. Now I'm saying this at 2 months, and
Right.
I remember doing my Equinox review, and I remember saying, well, the problem with the Equinox is it doesn't go as deep as other detectors. Well, guess what? I was wrong about that. It took me a while to totally, dial into that. I'm in the process of that, but we're also trying to, I'm trying to do that delicate dance. Like when Dan showed me the power levels and that stupid insert that's on the inside of the detector,
Right.
where they're claiming that the Manticore has more power, and then you see power on like this spreadsheet,
Right.
and 30 dBm like all the way down the list. It's like, wait a second, let's
Right.
do a video on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if they have to disclose, and I, apparently that's they disclose none yet.
That's right. I love that. The Nunya.
Yeah.
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 They disclosed none of your business.
None of your business. Don't even ask.
Yeah.
But I know in all kinds of products you buy, right? All kinds of products you buy, they have a safety card in there that is their required regulated notice to consumers of all the possible risks and isn't that what you pulled up? Didn't you pull up a risk card, kind of like a safety insert that they put in there?
Yeah. So that was the safety insert that was in there, and like usually it's like a car, and they have like this little thing in a car. Like cars are choking hazards, but in this case, it was the the power levels of the machine, the frequencies that it runs, and
what I took note of when watching that is that if I remember correctly, I don't have it up in front of me, so I'm going off a 55-year-old's memory right now. But they had two different power columns on that card, right?
Right.
One power column was from the machine, the detector, and the other one was from the Bluetooth wireless devices within the machine, or the headphones and all that stuff.
And then they had the frequencies.
And they had kind of based on the frequency. And they had some pretty detailed numbers in that column, based on the frequencies. And then in the detector frequency, they just had like not greater than, you know what I mean? A certain level, and it was the same top to bottom. And I saw
Minelab Go Find, which is the child's toy detector from Minelab, with the same power output as the Manticore. And I knew that couldn't be. But right down the list, it's like, wait a second. And then you start thinking to yourself, like, wait, I'm not really getting much deeper with this. And, I also did some digging way back about Minelab being the strongest part of its parent company, which is Codan. And, basically just putting all of this together, it's pretty dependent on to sell its products. Like this is something that could be pushed out. The marketing could be pushed out, and it inspired me to just throw that out there. Now there's throwing it out there, there's responsibly throwing it out there. And I never expected to hear from Minelab. They're notoriously tough to get in contact with.
Right.
And I didn't expect to hear from them. I'm driving to work one day, and it is Mark Laurie, the guy that I just animated as like the bad guy in Iron Man. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask you later if you brought that up on the phone, just because, like, you made it very clear too. So before you get to this phone call, you made it very clear that at no point did Minelab ask you to take that video down.
Nah, they didn't.
Right.
That was me, because like they didn't get a chance to tell their side, and right. I don't want to. Like, I'm a big fan of Minelab. They do great stuff for us. They push the limits. They push the bar higher. And what's there to be mad about? Yes, I know. Well, okay, that's a whole nother topic. There's the leak issues and stuff that I don't think were fully resolved, and I saw that all over the comments. And I saw like some anger about the price. There are a few people that are getting upset, and they don't have that person to really do the talking for them. And I suppose they need that. But I'm a fan of Minelab, and it was important to me that I feel good about the video. And I can't stand it when people just do these like I don't know, like caustic things that just do nothing and bring people down. It's not about bringing people down. It's about continuing a discussion. I don't think, due to my limited tech knowledge, I got far enough, but we got a little bit further in that discussion, a little bit further. And the marketing, there is marketing, and there is an enhancement. And I think it really came out at the end of the video. And Minelab, in fairness, they linked that to me. And Mark says, it's 50% more power. That does not mean 50% more depth.